just this evening, a short while ago, the Union government has imposed a 20% duty on exports of various grades of rice. This as the government tries to control local prices. India is the world's biggest exporter of rice. This is something that we spoke about a few days ago when there were reports that this kind of, I wouldn't say ban, but curbs on rice exports could come through. I'm speaking now with Siraj Hussain, former Secretary of the Agricultural Ministry and co-promoter of Arcus Policy Research as well. Mr. Hussain, great to have you back on the show, especially as a follow-up to our conversation on this very topic last time around. When, some people thought it was unlikely that those export bans or those curbs would come into place. What is your response to the decision that has been taken today?
I think it is a correct decision under the circumstances, because as we had written in our piece in the print, me and Shweta Seni, we had projected two scenarios. That is production lower by 10% and production lower by 15%. In both the scenarios, our assessment was that the export window is not going to be 22 million tons, which we exported last year. So I think the government has taken a correct decision, and we had also said that the decision to suddenly impose a ban, a complete ban on export of wheat was not correctly implemented. It was too sudden. Therefore, this graded response is a good strategy.
Overall, and the concerns arising about nations curbing their exports more and more as food insecurity globally peaks. How do you see this in the context of what India has already announced? Curbs on wheat exports, other derivatives of processed wheat, sugar as well. There's some caps that were put in place there, and now rice. Is this now pointing to our own stocks and supplies and questions there?
See, in case of rice, the global export is about 51 million tons. And last year we exported some 21 million tons. That is too much, actually, about 40% of the global export. I think, and Dr. Gulati and Juneja have written about it, that India should not be exporting more than 25% of global export, because that too much of export reduces the price. You know, the unit value of export from India is only about was only about $350 per ton last year. Of course, the prices have gone up recently in the last few weeks. So similarly, in case of wheat, we can say that India has never been a major exporter of wheat. Only last year we exported a very substantial quantity. In case of sugar, I think we have been exporting a lot of sugar, and this year the production has been more than the assessment done by both ISMA and the government. You see, the point which has to be understood and which has been wrongly communicated by several people, including the media, is that India can be a big exporter of agricultural commodities. You see, our surpluses of various agricultural commodities are marginal, and they are hugely impacted by climatic conditions, drought, rains, floods, etc. Therefore, Indian exports will have to be moderated from time to time by whichever government is in power.
Okay. What is going to be the impact of these export curbs? And as we are trying to open up agriculture, the whole conversation about agricultural reforms, don't these curbs on exports not sit well with that focus of allowing farmers also to make money when demand goes up and not restricting agricultural produce?
You are right. Actually, it is not a very ideal situation in which the government has to impose restrictions on export of agricultural commodities. Of course, the farmers should get a better price. But you see, at the end of the day, whatever we may say or write, or the economists may say or write or communicate, the governments, irrespective of political party in power, will have to be hugely concerned about the food security of Indians. Of course, it does impose some cost on farmers, but we also have to remember that a large number of small and marginal farmers have also to purchase basic agricultural commodities from the market. Therefore, if the inflation is very high, they are also very adversely impacted. So I think the government has to do a very fine balancing act. And that is what we had said in our piece, that the policy response to exports, bans, etc., restrictions is similar in the Modi government as it was in the Manmohan Singh government.
Well, the restrictions have been announced just a short while ago. We'll have to see whether it's easing prices domestically, because that's the one big driver as well. Thank you so much, Siraj Hussain, for speaking with us today on the show. And